I wasn't DJing because it's so cool to DJ. I love the technical side of it. I love playing with frequencies. It was just personally so much more interesting for me to DJ house, transition like house music rather than like open format. So like rap, pop, all of that kind of stuff.
Like your generic DJ stuff that is play at clubs. When you and your DJ friends hang out, what is the general type of stuff that you talk about? If step 1 is mixing, step 2 is music production, is there such a thing as a step 3 final boss, like the absolute mastering of DJ? Can you give us a quick and dirty outline of what a DJ console is?
I love this kind of people. When they like come up super close to you, they just stare at my hands. I recorded the mix and I was stalking Instagram those events. I followed single parties, I followed managers, followed promoters.
What was it about house that drew you towards it? Why did you pick house? A real DJ never takes requests.
A real DJ never takes again.
Yeah, have you heard that first?
Yeah.
Is it actually a thing?
I mean...
Welcome to the Ready, Set, Do podcast, where we learn from journeys of not experts who are just 2 steps ahead of us.
I'm Naman Pandey, and in this episode featured not expert is Mayya Perova. Originally from Moscow, Russia, Mayya came to the US to pursue higher education, but at some point decided to really pursue her passion for DJing. Now she's one of the hottest prospects in Chicagoland's DJing landscape, but the road here wasn't easy. We go over the onset of Mayya's musical pursuits during her childhood, how she learned mixing, which is a fundamental skill that every DJ must learn, how she dropped her first tracks and landed her first gigs. We then discussed how Mayya used the power of networking and social media to get established as one of the most sought after DJs in the area. We also go over music production, the 3 steps to becoming a master at DJing, what a DJ console does other than the and some really funny stories of just general stuff that she's seen at clubs. In keeping with that theme of learning from somebody that's just 2 steps ahead of us instead of an expert, my goal with this episode is to showcase Mayya's journey for any other budding DJs or musicians out there. This is the Ready, Set, Do podcast, and to support it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and or leave me up to a 5-star rating on Spotify. And now, without any further ado, my dear friends, here's Mayya.
Mayya, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was fun, so
yeah. So excited to jump into all the amazing things we'll cover. So I guess to start from kind of your origin story, so to speak, what was it like growing up in Russia, especially Moscow? Because especially I feel like here in America, we hear so many, interesting things about what Russia is like, or maybe what it was like when you were growing up. So what was that experience like?
Back home is definitely, it's completely different than from US. It's maybe I'm biased, but in my personal opinion, no matter what kind of like things are going on back home right now, like, it is still, I don't know. It's just, it's my home. Like it's much more genuine back home. The culture is much different. People are much different. Like the lifestyle, like, I don't know. It's like lots of details I can say, but it's just like everything is very, very different the way the things are. But it's lovely. Like definitely I know it's a very like tough right now to travel there. But it's definitely worth it. Like I think, Moscow is beautiful, St. Petersburg is beautiful. We have so many like beautiful places and like architecture and history. There's just so much to see, like so many events. So it's definitely very cool. But yeah, growing up there was like, it's like some good and bad things, I would say, how like every place, there is. Definitely like when I came here, it's like lots of just like lifestyle and the culture, like culturally lots of changes were just like different.
And at what point were you first, I guess, drawn to the idea of music, especially dance music, given you're a DJ now?
So, I do think it actually started with like my parents, because both of my parents really liked music. Like my dad, especially like alternative rock, he was very big on like British music in general, like British artists as well. And
is that common for people in Russia too?
Well, that's the thing.
That's so interesting.
I wouldn't say that it's like, no, actually like, so my dad and my mom, they're like about to turn 50 basically. So, and when they had me, they were like 26 or whatever. So like back in 2000s, I guess there was like a wave of alternative rock specifically, like Rolling Stones, especially like, this kind of music, like Depeche Mode, like both of my parents loved it. And so both of my parents liked music. And I remember like growing up, they would like put like MTV, which like MTV just started in Russia. Like we had the channel, and they were just like always put music, and I was like, okay, like
And
Gorillaz.
they mostly play like English music.
Yeah,
or they
no,
also
yeah,
have
yeah, like international British
Okay.
music, and that was cool because we like just started having MTV. It was like
Yeah.
whoa, brand new, like
Yeah.
oh, finally, and also like so it was like okay, 2002, 3, 4, something like there. But like 10 years ago, we didn't like it was so hard to get like international music like to Russia. So
Right.
that was kind of like cool. So I remember that, and I remember like just listening to different kind of music, all the time. So it kind of, I guess, like was kind of back here, and just like growing up. So being from like, let's say 8 till, I mean, basically coming to college, like till like 17. I was like always listening to different kind of music. I remember I had phases. I had a phase like when I was 10. I was like in love with Avril Lavigne. I would like
Okay.
Green Day, like rock music, like create like.
Yeah, I still love Green Day.
Yeah,
They're one of my favorite
I mean,
bands.
always such a vibe. So it's like I've listened to rock. I had a phase. It was just like more pop kind of, I had a phase. I was listening to like dance music, but it was more of like Martin Garrix, Avicii kind of dance, like this kind
Like
of dance.
super pop dance.
Yeah, EDM. So
Yeah.
EDM, pop, dance music. I had a phase. I was just like listening every single day nonstop. I had a phase. I was listening to like Coldplay. I mean, Coldplay is like probably if we're not talking house music, my favorite band for sure. I saw them actually. I saw their concert at United Center. Best concert of my life. That was like something else. So they're definitely like will be my favorites. I had a phase also. I was listening. It was kind of like, okay, I was at college already. I was listening to rap, like a lot of rap, like too much, not too much, but a lot of rap. So it's like, I don't know, I was everywhere with my music taste. And yeah, and I mean, the whole like thing with DJing, it kind of started as like, so when it was my sophomore year of college and I was in Milwaukee, and because of the COVID, I had to come back home. And I actually stayed at home longer than what I was supposed to because I had like some issues with visa. So I was getting to renew my visa, and I would always go out, like always go out with friends, clubs, bars, whatever. But I would like always pay attention to music. I don't know, like I would, some people like come and go out and then like obviously they hear music, but they don't like pay attention to translate. They're just like
once you're out of the club.
Exactly, right? And I would always like listen to transitions. And to me, I remember it was like so cool. I was like, wow, how you can like do this? Like, like blend, and it's like so cool. To me, I was over there like fascinated by it. And I was like, oh, like this is so interesting, And yeah, that's kind of like one of my friends, then she told me, she's like, oh, like you should try DJ, like you're so like crazy about it. And whenever we would go out somewhere, I would always be like, guys, like, can we heard transition? Like, this is so cool, And yeah, that's kind of how it all started. So yeah, I mean, music-wise, I feel like I was always around like different kind of music, and coming from like my parents, just like putting the MTV, kind of always like hearing something on the back of my head.
So at what point did you decide that being a DJ is something that interested you and you could start doing some things towards that?
I mean, so back, it was 2000. So after like my sophomore to my junior year, so when I was at home, I did take like a few classes from like a DJ back home. He was pretty popular. He was giving lessons, and he literally like the first lesson, because I wasn't sure, like I don't know what is that. And the first lesson he gave me for free, and it was just like blew my mind. Like I was in love. I was like, this is so cool. Like I was just like something I don't know I've never done. So I was just like in love with it, and I was just so interested in just like understanding and like learning. I mean, how to like mix from one song to another, how it all works. So I just like took a few lessons, and I don't know, it's something that I just like fell in love with. And it's kind of like in the beginning it was more of just me like learning, playing for friends, like I'd play just like whatever my friends would come and like for fun. I used to do it for our team, like before our matches we would like have certain playlists that we would listen to, and I would do like a mix. Everyone from the team would like choose 5 songs, and I would like mix them up. So it's like our pre-match mix. So so I would do like stuff like this. Like I wasn't like I didn't know, like, and I honestly at that point back then, like I didn't really it was like I was just learning like in my bedroom. Like I didn't feel like playing out, like no way. So it was kind of just started like that. But no, it's just a love. Like to me, like music and the way it all works and the progress is just something that, like, I don't know, like such a joy. Like,
Interesting. I noted what you said about like you were just originally playing in your house and you weren't, as confident as to go out and start playing. So what made that change? Like what made you seek out, the full final jump into the water, which is I want to play for people now. I'm not just playing for myself.
Yeah.
What and when did that happen, or how did that happen?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to play for people. I was like, well, yeah, it's cool to play for yourself in the bedroom, but I kind of want to have, and like, cool to play for friends, but how cool it can be to play for others.
Strangers, yeah.
So it's kind of, I just like wanted to do it. I was like, all right. So I started DJing, which year was that? It was like 2020, 2021, something there.
Okay.
So like post-COVID. But basically the way I did it, I recorded a mix. I was like, okay, like it sounds good. I like it. Like, I know it's good. And I recorded a mix and I've kind of just like was stalking on Instagram, like different like those like events, because they all have like pages. Who is the organizer, who is with who is friends, why, because they all post about it. So I would just follow. I followed like every single party. I followed like managers. I followed promoters, and they kind of saw like, oh, all right, like she spins. Like I think like I had like a picture or something, and then I remember I just texted. And then I texted my a DJ friend who like taught me lessons and stuff.
Okay.
So like, what's the word? Like, can you help me and stuff? And yeah, and I remember I was just like texting bunch to like event promoters, event owners, managers, all these people.
Gotcha.
And one of them replied to me, and he seemed pretty nice. And then I sent the mix and stuff. And then that's how like I firstly like played like at one of those parties, and it was kind of like I played for free. Like I opened up
in Moscow.
Yes, Moscow.
And when you say mix, just to clarify, you had a few songs that you wanted to play one after the other, and you were transitioning into one from the other. Is that?
Yeah, basically like that's like the main point of DJing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have like, let's say you have songs, right, and then which goes out of, then it goes all to you, but you basically like go from one song into another.
Exactly.
And like all the frequency and stuff, it's the way you mix and the way it sounds. That's like your job to do, right?
And that's the goal, to make it as seamless as possible, like that transition.
It really depends on the style of music you play. It's really like, how to say it, it's very broad. It really depends depends on the style.
Because some people will have it be abrupt because they want there to be like a shock value. Others will want a more mellow.
Yeah, it depends.
So
it depends. It really depends. Obviously, like if you're playing dubstep, like
there's no point.
So it's like there's just really depends. But obviously, like the how to say it, the more seamless it is, and the more like smooth, and the more it's like if you mix and it's like, especially house, it's like one song. It seems like a one song. So because the transitions are so seamless, that's
exactly. What were those experiences like? Like, did people give you any feedback? Were people happy, sad?
It was interesting.
Yeah,
everyone was happy because they're like, oh, like it's usually after it's like they would dub me up, like, oh, good stuff, like, right, you can actually play, like, some stuff like this. It's interesting. Some people back home were a little like not vocal, but then I knew like they liked my stuff, so that's why I was playing events. But then they didn't really say stuff. There are people like that.
Yeah, that just happens everywhere.
So it's okay. What else? No, but I mean, I played well, and like people loved it, and that's why I was like keep playing like some different events back home.
So then, when you moved to Chicago, I guess, is that when you were really, trying to do?
So I also know. So I moved to Chicago. It was fall 2022, and so I just like came to DePaul, grad school, and the full year, basically to like the last summer of 2023. I actually didn't even touch the decks that much. Because I came here, it's like completely new school, new people, new team, and it was like very much like new environment for me. So it took me like time to get used to and stuff. So I remember I did not even like touch the decks. Like, not that I didn't play. Like I just I like would play sometimes at home, but not much. And then so again, as I've said, like kind of for me, it was always like the summer. Whenever I would have more time, I would have more energy. I was like, all right, like, let me play out. That's how I played in Milwaukee, a couple of places. I played like back home. So last year, summertime, I was like, all right, let me just try it.
Yeah.
Let me just like
city.
exactly. Like let me just like try it.
Yeah.
So it's like took me actually almost like a year to be honest, like to start it.
Yeah.
And I just tried it, and then I've tried it, and then here we are. So, and then it kind of from there, I feel like started just like growing with like people I've met, events and stuff, and I've had so much help here, which I'm so grateful for. Like in terms of like the technique, like I've met my like DJ mentor, and he has helped me like tons. And when I saw like the progress and like I don't know, just like the support and the feedback, I was like, yo, like this is something that like okay. Like I can do it. Like why not? And especially in terms of house, I finally like started like understanding what kind of sound do I want to have in like house music, and so it's just like lots of like new things for me that like excite me big time. So that's how I just it was just now it's only like up from here. So
Absolutely. And the blueprint that you followed once you were in Chicago, was it kind of the same as what you referenced earlier? So reaching out to promoters, people that
I would say
existing DJs.
it's kind of
Like, did you share your mixes with them as well? Or?
It's I would say how the way it works like. Well, I don't know. Like that's just my formula, I guess. In the beginning, I literally just like stalked like Instagram, like DJs, events, who's with who, what is happening. So just sort of understand what is the scene here. What is the
what
scene?
places, venues that are most
like what people like.
So just research.
Yeah, research. I mean, because otherwise, how? Like, what do you think you want to play? Also,
Exactly.
So kind of like that, and then I reached out to a few places, followed a few people like they saw like that I DJ, some mutuals like DJs friends or whatever. So kind of like that, and then I played one like open decks event, which open decks it means basically anyone can come and play for free.
Sure.
So which is a cool opportunity. Lots of like different events do this kind of thing where it's like okay, like they have the lineup of DJs, but then in the beginning or like at the end of the night there's open decks, so like anyone can come and play. And it's kind of like to showcase yourself, for free, like, but it's cool. Like it's
is this venue based or event based?
Event based. Not venue based, definitely event based.
And do you have any tips on how somebody can try finding those? Is it just as simple as Googling that, or are there any fixed?
No, Instagram research.
I see. So all of this just lives and breathes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No, I mean, or like obviously like if you go out to like places like that and like you meet people and like you talk.
Or you'll see flyers on the walls, that will advertise.
Yeah, sometimes, but like depends. Not
But
really.
the primary source is 100% Instagram. And
I think so too.
and
I think so.
Yeah, that's all that matters here.
Yeah,
What
I
do you think?
so.
Yeah.
So I started with the open decks and I just came there and played well and got to meet people. They're like, oh, you should play for this guy. And I played like
So
another.
you make more connections, more Instagram
That's
network. Interesting.
Those types.
So from what you're laying out, it sounds like if somebody were to, stick to the basic what we just mentioned. So like you have your popular songs and you kind of mix them all together and you just keep doing that without trying to improve or improvise. Do you think that's a sustainable or, do people do that? Is that
I mean, hey, there's like, how to say it, there's different, like, the nightlife is great, like, it's big, there's different kind of DJs, different kind of events, different kind of clubs, a different kind of, like, it depends also on what do you want to do, because also, like, look, like, the open format DJs, so the DJs that play, like, popular songs, they play, like, every single weekend somewhere, they're probably summer residents, so, like, it's very stable and good income for them as well. It's also a skill. I mean, it's also a skill. It's a little different kind of skill, I would say, in terms of DJing, because like, okay, there's like thousands of popular songs, but what kind of song? Usually people do requests of the song. So like, oh, can you like make a request for that person? It's also there's like you for sure know the scratching. When like DJ. So like in house, like you will never see DJ do that.
Yeah, I don't think that happens that much.
Exactly. However, like right when it's open format, like can you scratch? Okay, if you're open format DJ, you better like that's kind of a skill that you like. I feel like if you're a good open format DJ, you probably like should know it. I have no idea how to do it, and yeah, probably
Makes sense.
So it's like it's completely like different, but it's also it's also cool, and also as an open format DJ, there's also so many like edits, which is basically let's say like a known song, but then the DJ when they produce music, so like when they like add like their own kind of kick, let's say, to the song, like they also can do that, and it's still like open format. It's still like I don't know like Rihanna song, but it's just a little different version. And like that, yeah. So it's like there's still so much work, and it's also can be fun. I do think it's fun for like people who are this kind of DJs for sure. It's just I don't know. I guess it just wasn't for me. I'm just like
it sounds like if I were starting out to do that, it would be way easier though to do that. To have all the songs that people know. That way, I can just play people's favorites, and they will think that this DJ is good because they're just playing songs that I know versus house music, which is more intricate, more detailed. Not a lot of people know that. So would you like that's the trade-off, obviously. So did you calculate that, or you were okay with that?
Yeah, because that's the thing. For me DJing like my love for DJing because of like the like in the beginning the technical and the music part. Now obviously like like I love playing for people and like now I like see it more as people based. But in the beginning for me it was like music based, technical things based. I did not care about like the party, yeah, she's so good. Like I could care less about that. I still like like I'm like very like chill about those things. Like I was never that kind of DJ that will be like like oh my god, like just doing this for like the party and like all the like.
So you didn't care about pleasing your crowd ever?
No, not like not in that way. I was just never like how to say it. I wasn't DJing because of like it's so cool to be DJ. It's so wow, you're such a good DJ because you're playing. I wasn't doing it because of that. I was doing it because I love the technical side of it. I love the transit. I love playing with frequencies. I love how can I mix this with this? Why like I'm more. That's why I started doing it. That's why I love it. Like,
so that was the primary aim, and then secondary was now I'm doing my best here. If people like it, that's good. Would you agree?
It's like,
or does it not matter? I guess what I'm trying to understand is how important is it that the crowd that you're playing for likes it?
Of course. That's like the main. Like it's like I don't know how to explain it. It is the main part. Hear me out. It is the main part that people love the music. Like that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes like I think like my mixing is off or whatever. But like it's a mistake that I hear, but no one hears here, and the music is good, so we're cruising, we're good. No, it's the main thing to like. I mean, people here to freaking dance, like to love the music. Like it's your time to do it. That's the thing. I'm just saying for the previous point is that I've started DJing not because of like. How to say
you want to be loved by a crowd. Like that's not your main goal, right?
Yes.
To be celebrated.
Yeah. Celebration wasn't my main goal. I would go to the restaurant and just like play tunes and would have the best time of my life, even though people were eating, did not even care about the music. And I had the best time of my life because I was just like doing my job, So that's what I mean. That's like what I mean by starting. But definitely like I hate to say pleasing the crowd, but you need to, that's your job to like have fun and like so like the people have fun, the people are dancing, grooving, like that's like not to please but like for them to enjoy. That's the main goal. Like it is for sure.
For sure. Like that's why they're all there. Like that's why you're there. That's
of course. Yeah, of course.
So you can't have that without that.
Of course.
What is your take on the I guess controversial notion that a real DJ never takes requests?
Real DJ never takes again.
Yeah, have you heard that first of all?
Yeah, of course.
Is it actually a thing?
I mean, so it's like, it depends on, really depends on what kind of DJing we're talking about. Like,
let's say it's a public club DJ.
That's the thing. I don't think, especially if it's like an open format, so if it's like pop and rap and stuff, And usually, like DJs like that, they take money for like requests.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, you know how much it's like they quote sometimes it's like they like $100 per request, 50, or like 200, like crazy. And it's like so it's like in the house community, in the house scene, it's like known to like no requests, like people never request, and it's like better like not to request. And people tend to not request, so that's good. I feel like it's more common in like again pop rap, like this kind of more open formatting.
Yeah.
And I mean DJs are different. Like no one really likes fake requests. It's like, bro, like come on, I'm doing my job here. Like
Interesting.
That's
what I was getting at. Yeah.
Oh,
the DJs like it.
No, never. No one likes to take requests. Hell no. Like because like you're
so
doing
funny.
you're doing your job and like stuff and like you're and it's like the thing is also like okay, so sometimes most of the time my DJs say no because they don't have the song, and if I don't have the song, how I can play it? I'm not gonna like go and like sorry, and
that checks out.
That's the thing. And it's like for me, I personally I don't take requests. But it's also, I remember if I would play like a very small venue, there will be like 5 people there, like or something like that. And if they come up to me, and if I have it, and like it's very chill and no one really cares. If I have it, I'm sure I'll play it.
Sure. That's obviously different.
Yeah, but if I don't, I mean, most of the time I just didn't have songs. So I was like, well, sorry. Like even like this Thursday, I mean, my friend Ivan will play, and there's this guy come up. He comes up, he's like, oh, like, do you have this? And I actually like I love that song, and I had like another version of it, but I didn't have it on my USB. I just have it like on my laptop, and I was like, well, yeah, sorry, can't make it. But I was like, I wish I could. I would play that if I would have it. So it's like depends, it really depends. Also depends on what they're requesting, also,
and also probably how they're requesting, because some people are like
yeah, of course, like like this guy was like nicely, like
of course that makes sense.
I was like, oh yeah, sorry, like so it's like.
On that same topic, can you do you have any interesting stories or anecdotes from your time in playing? So like maybe anything like somebody did something or something happened that shocked you. I'm basically looking for any like juicy stories that go on in clubs. Maybe stuff you've seen while you were DJing.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's lots of things.
And I know this wasn't in the script, but it just occurred to me.
No, yeah.
And I had to ask.
It's just the funniest part to me is like when I play and there's just like, especially let's say like the deck is here and it's very close to the people. Mm-hmm. And the funniest part is like, so the people they're partying, bro, they have no idea what is like this going on. Like music is there, we're good. And like they're with drinks and stuff, or like they're leaning towards. That happens so much. Like they lean toward, but it's like your job to like still like talk to them or whatever, but make sure like it doesn't get on the equipment because otherwise you're done basically.
Really?
Because it's very expensive and it's like see you like.
But shouldn't it be the like venue's responsibility to like
It depends also on the event. Okay. Sometimes it really depends on the event. And place really depends, but and it's funny. Or like even I played in Milwaukee. Like this past not like this weekend, the past weekend, and I just started playing, and this girl was like, and I just like so we switched to the DJ, so I was like trying to figure out what I'm playing, and she like talks to me, can you play a little? And I was like, oh,
from
I was like, yeah, and I was like talking to her, like I didn't know what I was saying, but I like. Less. I was just like, oh, okay. And then I see she's, I was like, oh, sweetie. And I pushed her, like, not pushed her, but like really nicely, like, I was just, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I keep sleeping. I'm like, it's okay. So it's like funny how you have to, like.
So just a lot of dealing with drunk people.
Yeah, like mostly, I didn't have like something like out of, I don't know, super crazy.
That's good, I guess.
No, it's good. Yeah, I will take it. It's just like more of like, okay, like even like this Thursday, like oh my god, I was having fun, and then I realized like this guy was like giving like drinks to us, to me and Ivan, like through the deck, and I was like, okay, so it's just like a risky business there, but
gotcha. But as long as your console is safe, like should.
Yeah, well, but you have to make it safe. But sometimes it's funny, or it's sometimes funny. Like I love this kind of people when they like come up super close to you. and they just like stare at you. They just stare at my hands. And I remember in the beginning, I was like now I'm like used to it. I'm like whatever. But in the beginning, I was like why they're just watching? Like what am I doing? Like don't watch, and then just like this, like not even. Yeah, there's
And it's common. Like this happens. This has happened more than once. Sounds like.
Yeah, 60 times.
Okay.
Yeah, so people just like laugh over, like they're just like, I love like it's just like move, and like people move and they're like okay, but they're still like wish like this. Yeah,
that's so.
Yeah,
weird.
but I don't know. Especially I feel like when they see like a girl DJ, they're like, okay, is she actually DJing? And then they like watch it.
Oh, that
for sure.
Honestly, it didn't occur to me that's why they were checking to see if you're doing.
No, that didn't occur to me as well. And then I just I figured. I was like, wait. No, sometimes like it depends. I do feel like sometimes people just actually just watch without any kind of like target or whatever. And no, a couple of times, a couple of guys I could just tell they were standing watching, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So
when you and your DJ friends hang out, what is the general type of stuff that you talk about? Is it more like business or shop related, or is it just like how any other friends?
Depends. I would say depends on how close you are. I have a few of my friends in the industry. I'm very good friends with them, and it's we obviously we talk music and all the stuff, but we also talk life, and we're friends. There's some people that, and so we would hang out not only out, I would go play volleyball with them, or I would see them for food or something. So it's something we would not only see each other out, let's say, but mostly I would say it's this kind of friends. But also there's some friends that DJs or managers that we're not super we're cool, super cool with each other. We're not super close, I would say, but we see each other out. Always great time, and it's kind of we just talk about okay, music stuff.
Do you compare notes ever in terms of I learned this new trick, or I have this new style of mixing or something?
No, we don't talk like that. No, it's more of I don't know how to say it. More chill.
Okay.
No, it's not let me put my note. No.
Yeah.
It's no. It's all friends. You hang out with friends. It's just not your closest friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
very chill, very always fun time, and it's kind of probably not gonna hang out if I don't see you out, but it's there's lots of people like that. But
yeah,
okay. No, but it's cool. It's cool. I love the. In Chicago, I do feel we have a great community. I feel again so much support, and there's lots. I think we have lots of nice people and DJs, and who give opportunities and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like what you said, not just today, but also when we synced earlier, was that community aspect is really important if you want to grow out. So, do you mind, sharing a little bit about that and how one can, integrate themselves within that community?
Well, it's just think about it. So, all the big DJs that are out there. So, let's say John Simon. He was a local DJ in Chicago, and so all the Tiestos, they get us and everyone. They've started somewhere. How did they start? They start playing in their own city. They start playing in their own. How did they grow? Well, because obviously they produce great songs and stuff like this, but they've started somewhere from a city where they've have been playing different events and going out and. Getting basically a feel for the industry and how everything works over there. So, and it's how did they grow? Well, also because lots of people, local people were supporting them by that support, and that's how they grew. So that's why it's so important to, if you want to grow, to go and support your local DJs. And it's we're just we're just people, and we do this obviously for fun and kindness as a side, not as a side hobby most of us, but it's just I don't know how to say it. It's just if you support local, you're gonna keep the scene going, keep the businesses going, because you're not only helping DJs, but you also help all the other side of nightlife. So
exactly. It's one big community.
Everybody wins. So it's exactly. So you're helping everyone, and it's if you're not gonna support that locals, then there are not going to be events. There's not going to be fun then.
And no DJs either.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you go out and support, it's going to be happening. If it's not, that's why, there's always like clubs are opening, closing, events are there, but then they're closing. DJs are here, and then, so that's why it's constant like cycle, I would say. So.
Quickly want to touch on music production a little bit here. So from what you've referenced, step one sounds like is, you learn your mixing a little bit, you figure out how to transition on.
Yeah.
What's the natural progression in terms of, expertise or getting mastery at DJing? Would it be when you start making your own music, like you start interlaying beats, etc.?
Yeah. I mean, I would say so. I think it's a good question. It's very like, I would say people would say different about this because some people start producing music and then went into DJing. It's differently. It depends on like what you like, and like how you started. Because I know like there's lots of people who like start producing and then they like picked up on mixing and stuff. So it's like there's some DJs that don't produce and never produced and they feel great and they still like play and stuff like this. However, I do think it's just like I feel like. I mean, there's no really rules, but it's kind of like a common thing, I would say. Like, right? Let's say you've mastered, you like understand, how to transition well and to mix well, and then, kind of as a next step is to like produce your own music. So like you can play your own stuff, and like other DJs can play your stuff, and you can because that's how you're going to be growing and recognized more because you're not going to be recognized for your mixing. I mean, everyone mixes. Like,
interesting. So there's no like grading or report card for this DJ is a better mixer than that DJ.
Like there is like some common rules. Like let's say like I don't know. So BPM is beats per minute, which is like the tempo of the song. Obviously, if it's 125 and I'm trying to mix in and it's 124, well, it's not going to mix. There's like some like general rules. Like or if you let's say have low frequencies, which is bass. And they're clashing, so you put the bass of one song and another, it's just not gonna sound well. So there is like some rules like this, obviously, but the ground rules. But you can just see like how, like it's very technical. Like there are some ground rules, but it's also. It kind of depends. Everyone like has like their own little style. Some people have it the same way. Some people have it a little different. But I mean, as long as it's like sounds good, you have good choice. Like it's the right fit. That's like there's lots of other like things that come to like being a good DJ. But in terms of mixing, it's like that. But what was I saying about production?
Is that something you want to get into, like you personally?
Yeah, no, production is something on my mind. I've just been like super busy with life and stuff, to be honest. But no, I got Ableton, which is the production software. I got like my courses and stuff. I just need to like sit down and like actually start like doing it and like learning and like watch. YouTube University is gonna be my bestie and. I have so many great friends that are like Mayya, like reach out to us, like we'll help you. So I feel great. It's just like I've been a little all over the place, so I just need like a bit more time. I feel like to like actually start it. But no, I definitely want to have fun and want to start producing my music. I think it's like super fun and yeah.
And then is the plan to like make it available on Spotify and all of that, or have you?
Yeah, I definitely. Well, the way it works, I definitely want to sign with record labels. That's for sure. That's like a goal. I mean, I'm very far from it. I would say I don't know how to produce.
Right.
Well, I mean, I have like a very like general idea, but it's very there. So I think it's gonna take me months. Maybe even a year before like actually like getting signed. And I mean, I don't know. I didn't like, and I have a good advice from a couple of people. They're just like, Mayya, have fun. Like literally don't like put anything on yourself. Have fun, learn it, play with it, play it out, feel it out and see, So, yeah, but it's definitely like, I just want to start it and, go from there and see what I can do. But no, definitely like, if it's something that I was like, okay, like I can do this, like I like to do this and, I can like figure it out. Definitely like, I mean, firstly you test out your music kind of like, you just play it out. Okay, like if people like it, what's up? And then, you can, especially if you're playing before a big DJ, some of the big DJs have like their own record labels, or like they know someone, like if you give them like USB with your music, you're like, oh, like check my stuff out. Like if they like it, if they play out, like again, Instagram, BC,
So they could sign you maybe if you catch their attention.
Exactly. And but also no, of course you can also there's a bunch of record labels, especially like the smaller ones that like not lots of people know.
Yeah.
You just shoot them an email. Hey, I'm this and this. So like listen to my stuff, and that's how it works. So it's definitely signing with a record label, and then you can. I mean, they're gonna put the stuff on like Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that.
So if step 1 is mixing, step 2 is music production. Is there such a thing as a step 3 final boss, like the absolute mastery of DJ? Like, what's that look like? When you become just a master?
Well, that's like what everyone wants in like full time is just like when you have a bunch of shows all over the world.
But in terms of skill, I guess.
Oh, in terms of skill,
first of all, is there such a thing even?
I don't even know. I don't think so. No, I mean it's definitely. I guess you should play like instruments actually, like because
really for like
you should understand like, and it's kind of, I feel like the more you produce, more the better you understand, and it's cool to see there's like lots of big DJs that have like those huge studios, and they grow their studio with like different kind of like you have like a like Fred again, like the whole like pad like machine, and like that's like you can create music like by using the pad, or lots of like Fred again, like let's say like LPGO be like let's say she's so cool, she like DJs, but she also plays the piano during her set. So it's like it's cool, right? And it's like obviously because in the program you can put the piano there, but you can also buy like a small one and play it out and
simultaneously.
Exactly. So it's like
I see.
I mean, technically, if you think like that's cool, to like just like understand more how to like incorporate like other sounds to like whatever you're playing. So I guess like that's in terms of the skill, I would say that's probably like the next step.
And okay, so I guess, but what that sounds like is you just music is what you're getting mastery at, not specifically DJing. After a point, it sounds like you outgrow the DJ part.
No, it depends. I mean, it depends on like also the style you're playing. There's definitely like some things and like effects or like some things with loops you can do. Like I've seen how DJs do it. I'm not a master on how to do it. There's like this. It's called RMX. It's like I've played on it for the first time a long ago. It's like basically an instrument for more effects, and it's super cool. It's super like there's so many things you can do, but like I've used it for the first time. Like didn't use it that well, to be honest. But it's okay. I'm like, okay, I have to learn. But the thing is, it's not in like all the clubs facilities, so I've used it for the first time like a week ago. So, but it's something like, okay, like I would love to like play on it, like, or be more confident, So it's like there's definitely it just depends on like you. It's kind of like if you want to master and like be better at the mixing or like figure out different audio transitions, go ahead. If you're like, all right, like I know how to mix, I mix well, and it's enough for me, for my staff, for everyone else.
That's fine too. Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
be whatever that DJ that you want.
Exactly.
There's no like blueprint.
I mean, as long as you can, like exactly, like as long as you pick the right music, you're playing like there's like some A B C D steps, but like in terms of mixing or stuff, it's like you're your own creator. So it's
which almost sounds good. It kind of sounds like YouTube in a way. Like I can put whatever I want on YouTube. It's
exactly.
I think like the solo.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ABCD steps, can you give us a really quick and dirty outline of what exactly a DJ console does? So I'm trying to learn why it's used, and like maybe top two most important things that is done out of that, because growing up I always saw that. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what you actually do with that.
Yeah. So, so you have, let's say if we're talking like professional equipment, so you have the mixer, right, where you have different knobs, which they basically, each knob is mostly the high frequency, the medium frequency, and the low frequency. So they all control like the sound of the song. So the low frequency, if I put it away, then you wouldn't hear the bass. So like
Yeah.
You wouldn't hear this.
I
If
see.
I put it up, you're gonna hear it, and there's gonna be yes. The mid frequency is interesting. It's kind of like if there's like a specific sound, if there's vocals, if there's piano, there's something, or like percussion. Like if there's something specific of the song, like you can kind of control it with the mids.
I see.
With high frequency, it's like the high frequency, so it's like I don't know, like sounds like this, like So if you want to like put them up or put them away.
Interesting.
In the mixture, there's also two main faders, the volume faders. So you like there's the thing that is over here.
Yeah.
So it's basically like you either put up the song the volume or you put it down. Then we have two CDJs. So we have like the joggle. You have on one side left song, then the right side right song.
Right.
So it's basically mixture. It's like how you work with them together. Each CDJ is per basically the song. Let's say like that.
Gotcha.
And so let's say you have your USB where you have your music, plug it in. Then there's like a screen where you can see your music. You put a song that you want to put. And then firstly, like you decide on the rhythm, right? There's like another on the CDJ. There's like a fader for the rhythm of the song. Let's say like 125 beats per minute. Let's say like playing that. So make sure that it's good, and then you press play. Okay, you press play. Whatever plays.
The left side starts playing.
Yes, the left side starts playing, right? So it's playing. I put my volume though like in the middle over here. Okay, and then let's say like the song is playing, then I want to mix, right?
Yeah.
So on my right side, I have my other track that I'm gonna mix in, and let's say like why this is such a common question. I feel like people always ask, like why do you just have headphones? What's the matter?
Oh
with
yeah,
headphones?
right. Yeah.
So what's cool about it? So in the headphones, we usually hear the song that we want to put. So in the headphones, we hear the stuff that no one hears, but we hear it. Like we hear in the headphones another song that we didn't put out there yet. So it's for us to mix in. Yeah, so that's why if you see the DJ at the headphones, because to make sure that everything is in sync and like the songs are mixed in well, you do it in you figure out the tempo that they're like sound well together in the headphones. So while no one hears it, that's why how they play so well. And
so you're listening to the same song but like 30 seconds in advance or something?
No.
Or
No.
how far ahead is the song in their headphones?
So how to say it? So you have your song here.
Right. It's playing.
It's playing. You have your song that you want to put next, that you want to mix in on the right.
Got it.
So you're in the headphones. You put let's say fader to listen to this song. You can you control it, right? You can still hear what's playing right now, but you're listening to what is playing, what you want to put out.
I see.
What kind of point of the song there's I'm not gonna go it's super details. There's lots of you can skip to main part, the last part of the song. It doesn't matter where you want it, and you can control it. But let's say you figured out that's the song that you want to play, and then you need to make sure that they sound well together, right? To make sure that they sound well together, you're gonna start mixing it in the headphones because. Obviously, some good DJs, they don't even need that at this point, but
because they can imagine what it will sound like based on what they're...
No, on the waveform,
yeah,
they're more chill. Because you see it, you can also, but sometimes, let's say, if you download it not super well, it's
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how you mix in another one, basically. So that's why you use the headphones. You're we're good. So you're putting another song. So the volume fader over here, and now it's they're both going at the same time, and then they're mixed. So you keep your two songs for a long time, and then you can add effects or whatever to play with frequencies and to make it sound good, and then you're gonna put it out at some point. Then you're gonna listen.
So you put the left down. So now the right song is now playing. So that now your transition from left to right is complete. Gotcha. Yeah. And I know some DJs will make it, they'll almost tease because once you start playing the beats, the audience knows what songs they play. But they'll extend it just a little bit to generate excitement, etc. That all makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So thanks for walking me through that. I know that I wasn't.
No.
But it is complicated. I'm sure you'll agree. It's not. A lot is going on in there.
No, for sure.
So again, thanks for that. And I guess my last question for you that I had today was What is one thing or a few things that you did not know when you first started down this road,
Yeah.
but that you do know now that you would want to share for anybody that's looking to that's really interested in music and wants to be a DJ but is just about to start?
Yeah. I would say like firstly like listen to lots of music. Like just listen to lots of music and honestly go out a lot. Like just before like let me just like play whatever, go explore different artists, get like the love for like the community, for the music. And I just do think like once you just like get out there and like be nice and you're
Make
like
an
or yeah, make a network, you're like or for love and for the music, for the community, like just start there. And then if you're actually like want to DJ and stuff, like it's gonna come, and like the more out there with people and you love what you're doing, like the more it's gonna come. I would just say like don't be like very like there's and obviously like very understandable, especially when you like start playing, like there's lots of people so hungry for like any kind of gig, like just
I
like
just want
but that's true, I was like that as well, um and I do think in the beginning you should play like kind of like everything,
decks
all
and
the
all that.
decks, like all the opportunities that you have, grab them. But also be like respectful. I don't know, because there's sometimes it's just like, let me just like hop on, let me just like play, like people get like a little like crazy, like
don't be desperate.
exactly, don't be like too crazy. Like definitely in the beginning, grab all your opportunities. I was grabbing every single, like even like not very good gigs, let's say, would still play them out. But just don't be like, I don't know, be professional. It's like you have to be, just remember, like, be professional, also be cool, and yeah, that's just something that, like, I mean, I think, like, I was doing, like, all the right things, but it kind of, like, didn't click to me in the beginning, and I was like, that makes so much, like, and it's just, I feel like, if you do it right away, this is, like, you're gonna be good, so.
Yeah, it sounds like there's also an element of like trust yourself, like trust yourself that you're good enough, you will get your opportunity.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You don't have to be on your knees all the time.
Yeah, I also think it's like last maybe advice. Like it's so interesting. I do think like while you're like growing in the community and you have friends, like it's always like listen to the feedback. Like please take the feedback from like the people that are like known in the industry and stuff. Like let them help you. Like don't be, because there's like people say there's no rules in DJing, and like it's very interesting the way it's like. Yes, I agree. And like you're your own master of what you're doing. Like, or like let's say like someone says like, I think like bring this to your sound, do this. But it has to be a good middle of like know what you want to do, but also take the feedback and stuff. Because I personally think like I've taken feedback from others, it helped me so much. So.
You might have some of our listeners reaching out to you for any advice, I guess, whenever this does go live. So it sounds like you'd be happy to.
No, for sure. Yeah, I always love to like whatever I can, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Mayya, it's been such a wonderful
it's cool. Yeah.
To sit down and learn from you. Honestly, these questions I asked were really questions I've always had.
No, I'm glad. So now you're gonna go out and be like, oh my god, I know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I definitely won't stand in front of a deck and just stare at the deck non-stop for 20 seconds, because I know that. Well, I mean, I knew that before, but I know definitely not to do that anymore.
It's just, I mean, it's also, I don't know, like, I'm sure some DJs don't notice, and like, now I'm cool about it as well. I just remember when I just started playing, I'm like, why? Like, there's so much attention in my hands right now.
Is there something on my hand?
No, so, and it's just like a little...
Do I have 10 singles on each?
It's just funny, like, now I, like, sometimes I don't feel like I even pay attention, like, to, like, people that like are like but in the beginning I was just a little because I'm still like, this is like new to me, so I'm like figuring this out, I'm figuring it all out, and like there's just people staring, I'm like, please sir.
Knowing myself, I would have probably done something stupid like scratch or something just to prove to them that I am actually doing something. I'm glad that you were not
no,
you didn't find it that you didn't find it
just like that's okay.
Just pray that believes. But really excited for your future, and hope to come to one of your shows.
No, for sure. You should.
With all of this background,
great stuff coming up.
A new fan in me, and hopefully some of our listeners. So
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you
for
so
sure.
much.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so nice. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of episode 27 of the Ready Set Do podcast. Thank you all for sharing these conversations with those that continue to benefit from them. If you would like to support me, the easiest way to do that is by subscribing to the YouTube channel and or leaving me up to a 5-star rating on Spotify. New episodes every Wednesday. Catch you all in the next one.